What's up, world? It's your boy, the Beerded brother. Back at it again with another episode of Season 3 of the Beerded Tastings. And if you thought Season 2 in 1 were fire, you're not even ready for Season 3. Because I got my boy, Kevin Bazile of 80/20 Fitness, help us get our fitness lives together and give some tips on how to live a good, balanced life and all that good stuff, because Lord knows we all need it. And so, going from getting kicked out at Planet Fitness for dropping weights to creating your own fitness center. How's that journey been for you? What made you start 80/20 Fitness?
Let me throw this out. Don't judge me because I am going to be trying this beer and I may have seconds, so just throwing that out there.
Oh yeah, that's what it's here for. So it's no big deal. We want to have people that never tried beer before and learn beer at the end of this conversation. If you don't end up liking it, but you end up appreciating it, I did my job and I can go to bed tonight. Easy.
No, so yeah, man. I'll start off by saying I did not see this as being my future. My future was to play football. Like my goal was to make it to the NFL, and I told my grandma before she died, so that was like a promise that I wanted to keep to her.
Oh, that's awesome.
When I found out that football was kind of my calling, God was like,
was your just heart not in it, or was it just like?
It was just too many like injuries, not being able to get the proper funding, partial scholarships and stuff like that. So it just wasn't working out. Everything wasn't right. And when I said, okay, I'm just gonna stop, like that was the worst feeling, and I turned big time. And
man.
I gained about maybe 70 pounds.
Okay.
It's terrible. I was out of sight. My schedule was working at FedEx. I was working at FedEx as a manager, and it was FedEx, Netflix and chill, and Cherry's ice cream. Like, that was my life.
Oh man.
So I felt like I had no control, and like being in that position, I noticed a lot of my family members were experiencing the same thing.
Right.
But it was like they had no way out. They've been doing it for much longer than I have. And I grew up in Walnut, but I was always physically active.
Right.
Just imagine not being physically active and eating New Orleans cuisine.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can.
So
and not expect to gain weight. Oh no, you're out of your mind.
Just adding up, man. Just adding up. And a lot of my family members were passing away, and it was just like, okay, I have to do something. So
Right.
I cut off processed food. I lost weight. I felt really good. I just wanted to pay it forward to my family. And from there, it was just like, okay, my family is doing good. I see they're improving themselves and their lives, and not only improving their health, but they're tackling like their goals and aspirations. Because now they have confidence, and I really just wanted to see that in everybody that I encountered. So we started 80/20 Fitness. And just to touch on when I got kicked out of Planet Fitness.
Little Birdie told me.
Or banned. So this was before we started 80/20 Fitness. I was working there and I was getting good hours, and then all of a sudden it cut to $10 a week. So I can't live on $10 a week. So,
Oh no.
I was like, okay, well, I got to do something to make money. I started training at Planet Fitness. And the rules is like, you cannot train. It's pretty much, it's some type of like description, but.
Oh, it's like that.
Yeah.
I'm a member there, and they got like that definition.
Yeah.
Man, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So that it was kind of like, okay, I don't have the hours, but you want me to stop training. So I was like, no, I'm gonna keep training until you give me more hours. And it just didn't work out in my favor.
Like, oh, this is what you want to do? Okay, we'll drop you to 0 because you're gone.
They not only banned me, but they then my girlfriend was wife now, and it was just like, wow, okay.
You didn't have to do the girlfriend. You didn't have to do Miss Jade like that. Shout out to Jade. You didn't have to do Jade like that. That's personal. They made it personal there.
Yeah. So I had nowhere to go. I was scrambling around the city, training outside. And then I got the opportunity to train at different studios in Nashville, and I learned what is really important for a client, and I learned about like what not to provide for a client.
Right.
And from there, man, it was just like, okay, I have to find a niche, like, or a certain clientele, because I can't create different programs for everything.
Right.
That's a W. I got a training program for. I want to say someone that's trying to train to be an athlete, something like a kid. And I have a training program for adults. Training program for, like, it was in a certain group of people. So I had to really define who my clientele is. And when I met Mrs. Whitney, it was like, okay, it clicked. And of course, he's like, you need to make sure that you have a clientele that you're going after, because you can't go after everything. So when I found out my clientele, or I figured out my clientele is leaders, doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, like they all have the same pain point. They focus on everyone else but themselves.
Right.
So
yeah.
it's like figuring out
That's
a
very
way,
true.
like once I understand my clientele, then I can strategize a program specifically for leaders, and I don't have to keep changing every time I work with a person. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. No, that's perfect. And kind of going into that, like, beer is the very same way. So, like, segue into that, I want to get into our first beer, which is called Golden Wheat.
Okay.
It's a Japanese rice lager, so it's going to be very light, very easy to drink. This would be like perfect for someone like yourself that's not really into beer or don't know much about beer.
Yeah.
It's just this first one right here, number one. It's light gold right here. So you can see it's like super light. This is like perfect for the summer. Light on the smell, almost kind of white wine-ish to it. Yeah, it's more like a subtle, like Sauvignon Blanc almost.
Yeah.
So, little hoppy, little bitterness too, but nothing overpowering or anything like that. Easy to drink. So, it's called Golden Wheat. It's their Japanese rice lager here. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we're at East Nashville Beer Works drinking beer on this fine day, on this fine episode. So shout out to East Nashville Beer Works.
Yeah, cheers to that.
They make good stuff here. I'm a Mug Club member, so if you're not, you need to go ahead. It's a lifetime. I swear this is not an ad. I'm just a big fan. So going into just talking about trying to figure out what you want to do with life and things like that, and find that balance. I noticed like 80-20 equals up to 100, but like why that split?
So 80-20 is 80% mindset, nutrition, and 20% exercise. The split is when people go into this health journey, they focus more on the workout, the aesthetics, than what they're putting in their body. And then also, you have to have the right mindset to receive results and continue to see results over a long period of time. So it really just makes sense to focus more on the mental and nutrition over the workout. So, for example, clients, they come to work out at 80-20 Fitness. Work at 80-20.
Beer will make you do that sometimes.
Yeah. But I have clients, they come to 80-20 Fitness 3 times a week. But what are they doing outside of it? Like, they're faced with the world. The world is negative. The world's going to tell you can't do.
And stressful.
Yeah, it's stressful, and it's like, I have to make sure that I'm constantly leaving a bug in their ear. Like, this is important. This is what you signed up for. So it's really that mental piece is what I'm doing whole clients accountable. And then also nutrition-wise, we created a program that is really tailored to leaders and how they have a crazy schedule but making sure that he's taking baby steps
Right.
to become the best version of themselves. Because in the past, I would give clients a full plan, and they did not follow it at all because it was just a lot of information.
It's overwhelming. Like it can be very overwhelming. Like when it comes to the world of fitness, because you got to worry about calorie intake, you got to worry about protein, and which foods are good, which workouts are good, and remembering the workouts and how to do the workouts and monitoring how much you work out and things like that. It's a lot to keep up with. It's low key a full-time job sometimes. So like being able to take those bite-sized chunks and digest it slowly. So be that like you do work with leaders, you do work with people that have very busy schedules. So like someone like me, the Bearded brother walks in and wants to have a workout plan, but I'm always out on the road doing live podcasts, going to different breweries, meeting different people, but I'm not really able to get in the gym. So I'm either at a brewery or I'm recording or I'm being recorded or anything like that. What does that conversation look like for someone with like very busy schedule? Because somebody that doesn't can kind of just work out in the morning, go to 9 to 5, come home, and eat properly, and then they're pretty much on the right track. But like, there's days where I gotta be up till 2 in the morning, and you want me to work out at 5 in the morning. Like, what does that conversation look like for those type of people?
Good. I'm glad you asked that question. So let me phrase it this way. Where do you see your life, let's say 5 years from now?
Oh, so I see my life, at least with a small child, hopefully. Either here or in Atlanta. Definitely being in the world of beer, whether it's I'm brewing, I'm working on owning a brewery or anything like that, or being out on the road doing this podcast. So I definitely I'm a beer professional that's going to be in something all the time. So my schedule is going to be very up and down. So I definitely want to be able to have the ability to be healthy, still be out on the road, travel, be a husband, be a father, and things like that, or be a family member to whoever I need to be, or anybody, things like that. So that's my goal, is just being present. Like make sure I'm just really present. I know that's kind of like broad and abstract, but
so I understand. The reason why I asked you that question is because what if I told you that all of your goals, aspirations, everything that you want is going to happen in 5 years? Like starting from now, 5 years from now, you're going to have everything you want. The brewery, the kid, twins at that.
They do run in my family, so.
There we go.
See, I'm not speaking this into existence, Ashley. This is Kevin. You heard him say it on this episode, so if it happens, blame him.
That would be crazy. But like everything that you want is going to happen in 5 years, but it's going to be wear and tear on your body. Right? This is 5 years of not working out, not taking care of your health, or maybe on a roller coaster ride where there's periods where you're taking care of your health, and then there's periods where you're not. You're binging, and then you're not. So it's like, with all of that being said, everything that you want is going to happen. But if you don't focus on your health now, then it's going to be a life or death situation.
Oh, wow.
To the point where it's like, I've worked 5 years, I got everything I want in 5 years. And then you're like, now I have to take a pause because I didn't focus on my health over the course of 5 years.
Oh, man, that's deep. Yeah.
So it's real, man. And it's like, anything is possible. Like, anything.
Right.
I mean, you could say, I want to be the president, and that can very well happen. But it's like, leading up from now until you get to that goal, like, you have to do that. Because it's either going to be a now thing or a later thing. You don't want it to be a later thing.
It might be too late.
I have a client, I'm not going to say any names, but my client mentioned if he has a mentor, and the mentor said, okay, you really need to focus on your health because at this rate, you're going to gain 100 pounds before you make 100 pounds.
Ooh.
And it's like, just think about that. Like, gain 100 pounds
Snap
before
on
you
that.
make 100 million. Now, an extra 100 pounds, that may be dead.
Yeah.
That may be sitting in a wheelchair, not doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like thinking about that scenario. Like, as you continue to climb the ladder, like, you gotta improve health. And I don't want my clients to be perfect, but it's like taking those baby steps. So you start off by figuring out your why. Like, what is your ultimate why? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And what are the steps you're going to be eating to improve so you can make health a part of your lifestyle? So doing that, we figure that piece out, and then I take them on this thing. It's called the 3-month phase, right? Where each month we're going to be focusing on bits and pieces of nutrition, working out, just like really best practices. Because I'm not a nutritionist, but at some point I want to have nutritionists on staff. But I test out everything that I provide for my clients, from the workouts to the nutritional guidance, and it's been working because I practice what I preach. I think in training leaders, they see the leader within themselves.
Right.
Because leaders, they practice what they preach. They do the tough stuff as well. So when they say, okay, this is what I've done to be successful, you can do it too. You know, there's some validation. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's awesome. This definitely gives like some sort of insight. So like when it comes to nutrition, you talk about best practices. Like, do you focus on what they need to cut out first, or what they need to add? Like, how's that like nutrition? Like, what do you focus on when it comes to like that nutrition part in terms of best
I would
practices?
say what to add. If you think about, and I'll use myself as an example, I've been more unhealthy than healthy. So there's no way I can bridge the gap. Like, sometimes I pass Christy and I'm like, shit.
That looks kind of nice.
Yeah, like, I kind of want to get this one cookie, and then one cookie will turn to more. So it's like I'm always faced with those bad habits. It's making sure that you take baby steps.
Okay.
So can you ask the question one more time? I lost my train of thought.
Oh no, it was just about what are those baby steps when it comes to nutrition?
Yeah.
Like, how do you introduce that? It's like, is it more? Do you focus more on adding things they need or taking away first?
Yeah. So start off taking baby steps. It's best practices, adding stuff, and not necessarily taking it away, because it's kind of hard. If I told you you can't drink beer ever again, that would be hard. That would be hard. But if I said, hey, you gotta stop drinking this type of beer and only that type of beer first, you can wrap your mind around it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, I can stand the other beers, but just this.
Just not this one. That's the only sweet one or anything
So
like that.
that's the process. It's like adding, not taking away. And as you continue to add and you master it, ultimately it's the bad habits are going to fall by the wayside, and now you have good habits moving forward.
Okay. And we're going to jump into our next beer. It's a sour called Sour Season. It's made with Marionberry, and so it's going to be a little tart, but pretty light and easy to drink. This is also another style of beer you can drink, especially if it's fruited, sour. This is more like almost like juice sometimes, and things like that, depending on the fruit they use.
Yeah.
But cheers. Pretty easy to drink. Usually I'm not a huge sour fan, but I know just looking at like sours, like a lot of people. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like either the lager or like a sour usually really good for like new beer drinkers like that. Speaking of like new beer drinkers, like becoming a new member of 80/20, what does that like process look like for a new member? They're like, oh, 80/20, I don't know how to become a member. I don't know what's the beginning steps and things like that.
So to become a member, you would go to our website and fill out a questionnaire, book your consultation. From there, we figure out your why. And I'm not talking about a surface level why, like I want to look good for vacation. I'm talking about people why. Like, why are you going on this roller coaster ride? And you're allowing yourself to go 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and it's a cycle. So figuring out that piece, and then ultimately putting them on the right plan at this still. Like I have some clients, they come in for group sessions because we only provide a small group. We call it 80-20 semi-private and personal training. So those are the 2 services that we provide. Okay. And some people come in and they want the small group or the semi-private training, and I have to put them in personal training because they need more work.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really making sure that we understand like the client's needs, understanding their why, understanding that this is not going to be an overnight thing. So
right.
Just get that away from your mind. And really wrap your mind around this being a year-long process. Because we're not in this to create a quick fix.
Okay.
Like, we want this to be a life-changing experience. And if you step in it and it's like, I'll do this for a month, it's really not.
You don't see much of anything, if anything at all.
I mean, you'll see some results because I feel like as human beings, you can do anything.
Right.
But how long? Like, that's like, do you want to make $1 billion for a year, or do you want to make $1 billion over your lifetime? It's just making sure that you understand that mastery comes over time, not a one day thing or 1 month thing.
Right.
Yeah. Like for you, like your podcast, you're doing it organic. And over time, you're going to figure out a way that is super different, no one else is doing it, and you're going to master it. And then people are going to be looking at you like, hey,
how do you do that?
You've been doing it over a course of a year, and the reps, like, it matters.
Right.
It matters. And when someone looks at you and say, oh, I'm going to disrupt Universe podcast, they're not going to be able to do it because your ambitions outweigh theirs.
Right, yeah.
Like, they can look at you and be like, oh, but you just have more money.
Right, and it's like that muscle memory kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of just talk about like 80-20 being like that split. Like, do you just really focus on, with your clients, you just focus on their nutrition and then like their fitness? Just at like 80-20 ratio, you try to like implement it in their personal life when it comes to like work-life balance or just balance in general in their life. Whether they're trying to find time here to go work out and do whatever they need to do. How far does that 80-20 net go out?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because we're actually doing some rebranding. Because 80-20 fitness is much more than fitness. Like, we want this to be, I guess, a reflection of your life.
Right.
Like, I live my life in this way, but we're still working on figuring it out. But for now, it's 80% mindset, nutrition, 20% exercise, and when you think about this, you're only working out at the gym for 1 hour and 45 minutes an hour. The entire day, like, you're not working out. So like you have negative thoughts, you have positive thoughts. Like, that matters more than the workout. Like, you can go an entire year of not working out, but thinking positive and eating healthy, like, you're going to see more results. Working out is really for aesthetics. Like, when someone sees you, that's pretty much it.
Gotcha. Oh yeah.
Those compliments, like that helps, but you can go without working out. I mean, as you age, you can be working out is important.
Right.
Because you lose bone density and stuff like that, but like the nutrition and the exercise, the nutrition and the mindset just outweighs the workout.
Gotcha. And going with like leaders and entrepreneurs, talk about your workouts. You kind of touched on a little bit on how you structure your workouts. Instead of trying to like go for every singular person's characteristics, you kind of just have a few workouts. You're like, okay, you sound like you could do workout and nutrition package A, but you look like you do C. Like, how do you find those packages for people to fit in, and how do you know they will work for those clients? And how long do you go where you're like, okay, maybe package A doesn't work for this person. They might need to do B. So it's kind of like a multi-level question, like as you create it, and like where's like the trial and error? Like how do you trial and error with someone?
So, since we have the same type of clientele, they have the same problems. So, when someone comes in, for example, she comes in, she's a nurse, she has a busy schedule, she doesn't have time to work out. We have solved all of those problems by having a hybrid service. So if you have time to come to 82 Fitness, then we got you covered. If you can't, then we have virtual as a backup. And that has been super helpful for a lot of people because when they travel or they get super busy, they use that as an excuse.
Right.
It's like I can't do it because of this. But this is always going to be a thing. So how can you maneuver that? So we provide the virtual, and then it opens up more time for
Okay.
Yeah. So start off there, and then also as far as like making sure that we put them in the right program, it's really assessing their needs and then also their complications. So if someone has had surgery and they went through physical therapy, but they haven't worked out in years, then I would start them off with personal training. We call it the 80-20 coaching. Because we want to slow it down, make sure that we assess and really focus on the areas that we focus on, and then we could transition them into the 80-20 semi-practice, which is it's a little bit more advanced. And I don't want to say advanced in the sense where you're doing more advanced work, but it's just more fast-paced.
Gotcha.
Right. For each exercise, for the semi-private, we have a modified and advanced version. So it's like somebody can go in there and let's say if they took 6 months off, they can go into the semi-practice and still see results and be able to work out with the best of themselves. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also would add that. The way we structure it, it's sort of depends on the person.
Gotcha.
So we have another client, and they've been working out for years, but they don't want to be in a session with multiple people. They want to do it themselves. They want that guidance, but they want that one-on-one guidance.
Gotcha.
So we provide that for them. And it's really just taking it to the next level. Because he's able to work on certain areas of his body that he couldn't figure out. Provide that assistance. So it just depends on the person.
Okay. That's awesome. And then just kind of like with the clients and being a black-owned business, like how is like the reputation of fitness in the black community that you've noticed? Is it pretty overly positive, negative, or is it just kind of like it's kind of just same across markets?
Yeah.
Or across races?
I feel like this is years in the making of like black people not taking care of their health. I mean, when you don't have the means to, you just don't do it.
Right.
So, looking at where we are, how the world is being gentrified, like there's not the opportunity for communities that's fortunate to even wrap their mind around living a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
Like I mean, it starts off with the food. Let's say food is cheaper, and people, especially like black people, they look at it as like, oh, I can't afford to live a healthy lifestyle because chips cost 99 cents, whereas this costs like $6.
Right.
You know, so it's like it's a lot of learning and relearning. Lots of mental breakthroughs, and that's why we're wanting to fix that problem as well within 80/20 fitness. So we understand like our clients serve like the top leaders in that.
Right.
And that's our niche. Like we want to serve those people because we feel like they truly change the world. We need them here to change the next generation and show them like, okay, you can't focus solely on just work. You have to make sure that you're family.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But we understand that as we continue to serve these high level leaders, like the rest of the population is not being served. So we're gonna eventually start a nonprofit.
Okay.
Or not even a nonprofit. We're still trying to figure that piece out, but each person that signs up, we're gonna take a percentage and put it towards creating a what did my wife say? It's going to be a community center.
Okay.
And that's, I would say, in neighborhoods that don't have the means. And we want that to be all across the world. Like that's our goal. And we feel like it'll be a win-win because if we provide workouts, everything that they need to be successful, then there's really no excuses. There's no, like, we want to change that. Well, I don't have the means to.
Right.
So if we put that in every hood in the world, it's like, okay, this person that went through our program, now it's $1 million, or he has $1 million business, and it's like, I can pour back into my community.
Right. I'm available. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good, and I'm hitting all my fitness goals.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to jump a little more into your personal life and your business a little bit.
Yeah.
But I did want to go to our third beer, which is called the Six-Eyed Monster. It's a brown ale, so this is going to be a little hoppy, a little chocolatey. There's going to be some toastiness too, like almost like perfectly toasted piece of bread in the morning.
Okay.
But it doesn't actually taste like bread, but you'll be able to kind of taste it. It's going to be a little hoppy. But it's called Six-Eyed Monster. It's a brown ale, one of my favorite styles.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, you get that toastiness, you get that little hoppiness. You can really get it on the aroma and smell it, which is like a big part of like beer.
Yeah.
You get like that like toasty, like toasted bread almost.
Now, let me throw this out as well. Since I don't drink as much, I'm like feeling it right now.
Take your time. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to the Beerded Tastings.
This is crazy, man.
I
took that sip and I was like, okay.
We're here. We loosen them up. We can get the good answers now. I gotta rub my hands like Birdman. It's over now. I'm about to get the real Kevin. Don't worry, Jay. We'll get him home safely.
I'm not that good.
I'm just kidding. But, you said you are married to Jade. And kind of just talking about, I know you talked about like how she was kind of bouncing full time and you're going into the entrepreneurial like world and realm, maybe not knowing too much of what you're doing. Like, how was that like dealing with your relationship? This is kind of where like the question I asked about the 80-20, kind of find that balance. How were you guys able to balance your relationship? Her working full time, you trying to start 80-20 fitness and trying to get her acclimated. Like, how did you guys navigate that? And are y'all still navigating?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It's a struggle and it's ongoing struggle. It's really just learning and growing. Like, cause she didn't see herself having a fitness studio. Like her whole goal is to have a cultural family.
Oh,
Really into history.
okay. Is that still on the plate?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
one of the things that
I'm gonna have to interview her separately. We got, we got a whole conversation now.
Yeah.
This little unknown Black history fact.
Like we want 2020 fitness to support her dreams and goals someday. So, I mean, once we got that clear, then it was like, okay, this is the plan.
Okay.
But I mean, to take a step back, when we got to this, it was really like we wasn't ready, but it was too good of a opportunity. So like,
so you had to get ready.
Yeah. We were forced to get ready.
Right.
Yeah. So like we got an opportunity to get into a space, and it was pretty much handed to us. And like this Caribbean lady, she was like, "Hey, I am getting tired of traveling back and forth from Brentwood to Nashville. I work at a country club. That's where I make most of my earnings. And I try to travel back in Nashville to my fitness studios. Do you want to take over? And can I sell you the equipment? Take monthly. I walked out of a bad situation into a good situation. And we jumped in a business together. Like that same week when we found out, we were like, okay, let's just do it.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it's been stressful, man. It's been really stressful. But I mean, I really appreciate my wife because man, she put up with a lot for me. A lot.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, because it's like I'm learning now, but it's like you have to focus on one thing before focusing on two.
Right.
Like that's a must because you gain the confidence from that one thing, and it's gonna trickle into every aspect of your life. So at the time when Kate and I met, I had a party bus business.
Oh wow.
I was cutting hair. It's personal training. I was doing all of those things, and it was just like stressful. Like I didn't have time. I wasn't proficient in all of them. And she was just like, "Hey, I don't know if you can work out. Like, you're doing too much."
You're busy and you work, but you do too much of each.
Yeah. So what's going on? Like, I don't know if that's just gonna work out. And she kind of just gave me that like this or that. I don't know. It's gonna work out if you don't figure it out. So I chose fitness, and within the fitness business, I still had the habits of wanting to focus on many things and not focus on one thing.
Right.
So it's been going back and forth. Like our arguments is like, no, okay, this is a game plan. I'm like, but no, this one thing can work.
Get your ass over here. Okay.
That's pretty much
Ashley's like that with me. So he's like, Squirt, come here. And we got a dog too that's just everywhere as well, and she's got corrals both. Some days it's like the dog's over here, but Kramer's still in the bathroom doing something, or still laying in the bed. We gotta go to this event.
Yeah.
Or we were just working on this thing. It was like we said we were gonna do this. Like, why did you? I don't know. It felt right.
Man. It's like, just dealing with my habits. I think she made me a better person because I didn't have that. I guess that accountability, that tough love. It'd be hard, man. Really hard to stay focused. So now I feel like I understand my clientele. I understand the direction. I want 80/20 fitness everywhere. 80/20 fitness is someday going to start a nonprofit, or it's going to be a business, which I think nonprofit is still a business. You still got to pay people.
It's a for-profit with a heart. That's what it is.
Yeah. So I feel like we're gonna have that, and I mean I have big goals, but the goals are targeting one thing first, and then moving on to the next. So, I mean, and I want to actually have a barbershop.
Oh wow, okay.
So I want to have a barbershop.
Do you still cut hair, or? It was like, I don't feel like going to the shop real quick. Let me line
I
myself
just feel
up.
like that industry it's the same. It's been the same for years.
Yeah.
It's like nothing. It's like people are still writing down their appointments in the calendar.
Yeah. In some places, very few places will do the tech thing, but also it's just one of those industries where it's just like not many things are broken. It's just like when it comes to the industry. Some people are broken. That's a whole different conversation and a different podcast episode. But like the industry is like it just works. Call your boy up like, hey, how many people you got today? Oh, you got 4 heads? All right, cool. I'll see you about 2 hours because that's about maybe 3, depending on their bother.
But compared to the beauty industry, like specifically salons, like they have created so many businesses. Like I think this thing is called the Dry Bar. People go there to dry their hair.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm bald, so like.
I'm like, it's so simple, but I didn't know it was easy.
I had no idea either.
So, I feel like if somebody just comes and they provide some tech, they spruce it up. Like, they can
something.
Really just take over, and someday we're gonna be in that category.
Okay, and like, how do you? That's interesting. You brought up tech. How do you, outside of like virtual classes for 80/20, like how do you look at tech being a benefit for 80/20 fitness?
Tech is everything. We're working on implementing more tech to 80/20 fitness. Right now, we've created our 80/20 semi-private using a piece of tech it helps hold the class accountable and flex that competitive edge. So we're using that and we're trying to add more. Because it's kind of like if you don't have that tech piece, you can't be competitive in the market. The big players, they have it. And the players that
they created it.
They're creating it, yeah. So it's like making sure we have that. I can see the fitness industry. Like someday, the virtual semi-private is going to be actually virtual.
Oh wow!
I feel like that's going to be a thing today. When I say virtual, you're going to put on your
it's almost going to be like Peloton. It's like
Peloton, but it's like you're actually in a virtual gym.
Oh wow!
You put on your headphones and you can actually see the person. Like you're in a gym and you're working out, doing squats, you're doing everything. So I feel like that's the way the fitness industry is going to be. I want to say maybe in the next 10 years.
Oh wow!
And it's gonna make a lot of fitness studios a lot smaller. And it's going to make the client lots of money as well because now they can have that same in-person feeling but be at home.
Okay.
Like that would be so dope. Yeah.
That'd be huge for people, especially like you can't get up, go somewhere, and then have to come back shower. You're like, oh, I'm done. I can go straight up shower. I'm still on time. I can still move and things like that.
I see 80/20 fitness being that type, but the future for us is creating a space where we provide convenience.
Okay, yeah.
So we're going to have a co-working space, event space, we want to have a workout space, possibly a daycare, and then, the sky's the limit. They have a bar today. It'll be inside where you have like networking and stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, but I'm excited about the future.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you asked me what I want in 5 years. Like, what do you see 80/20 being in 5 years? Like, in 5 years, I want this now. Like, I would like for it to be is like this is where it's going to be in 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2027. Like this is the goal. This is what we want.
So in the next 5 years, 80/20 Fitness is going to have its own facility.
Okay.
Nashville is going to know 80/20 Fitness as the go-to place for leaders. Leaders, entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, nurses, people that have, I want to say, the voice to inspire others is going to be a part of 80/20 Fitness. They're going to be a member at 80/20 Fitness.
Okay.
80/20 Fitness is going to have different events, and we're going to create a way for leaders to connect and network without having to like do it over a bar or going to dinner. Like it'll be a cool experience to where it's like it may be listening to a live podcast and sipping on wine, and then afterwards, like now you can network instead of like you're sitting at a bar or you get drunk.
And you trying to like, who do I talk to? Who do I not talk to? Who do I not waste my time?
Yeah.
So I'm very big on that. That's why I had an Afro-Canadian community before this, just to cut that out. It's like you learn something. I would bring speakers in, and they'll talk about something, and then you try to take what that person's talking about and talk about it with someone. So you kind of have like a better, genuine starting point rather than like people going to those rehearsed elevator speeches and pitches and stuff. Because I don't care what anybody says, everybody rehearses their networking voice and networking talking points. And it's like, I gotta get this out, I gotta get that out, I gotta tell them this, I gotta make it this way. But like, you learn talking to Kevin Bazile, 80/20 Fitness, and he mentioned something about like 80% this, 20% that. You're like, oh, I can do that in I can do. And let's go talk to this person about this, just to see if my idea is weird or like they kind of break it down. And then you're like, oh, we actually are more compatible than we thought we might have been. Okay, we might need to work together because, like, who knows? The Beerded brother and 80/20 Fitness might be able to come up with something. But you would never know that if we never sat down for this podcast or we never had like a genuine introduction and things like that. So we're getting ready to wrap up. I'm moving on to the last beer. You can take your time. I know you're feeling it. So take your time. I always advocate. Take your time. Drink within your speed limit. Don't try to keep up with someone like me that's been in the game. I've been in the game a minute. Like you said, reps. It's those reps, baby. So, like, just stay in your lane. Know your limits.
Yeah, I know.
People are like, I got it. I was like, no, you really got to know it like the back of your hand. Like, you really got to know it as well as you know yourself. If you don't know yourself that well, that's where chaos can happen. But if you know yourself, that's where you can stay in that safe zone. But this has been a cordial conversation, so it's always been it's perfect to go into this stout called the Cherry Cordial. It's a cherry milk stout, so it's going to be a little bit cherry in there, a little bit sweet, a little tang to it, but nothing overpowering or anything like that. So, cheers. Cheers. My last question. Ooh, that's good. It's got a little cinnamon in there. I like that.
I was about to say chocolate, but yes.
Some chocolate in there too.
Okay.
You can get some cinnamon in there as well. I always ask everybody, I was like, what is your definition of black excellence? Somebody ran up to you, just like held you up, was like, tell me your definition of black excellence. Go. Like, what does that mean to you?
Man, just being authentic. Like, looking at the world as your canvas, and every time that you move forward, you know, you're stroking the brush against the canvas, and you know you're painting a picture. You're
telling your story how you want to tell it.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
It's don't know. I guess as I continue to get older,
I like to say getting wiser.
getting wiser. There we go. It's a lot of. It's like you don't. You don't worry. You worry less what people think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest part. It's like when you consider what other people think about you, then you don't listen to your own voice. And it's like that voice is telling you, go on, do it, don't worry about other people. Like, you got this. And I feel like specifically black people, it's like, it's hard because even our own people are telling us that racism is, which it is, but it's like, we don't want to use that as a crutch. Like, we have to work harder. We have to do this. I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but it is. And we shouldn't preach to our next generation that we should focus more on racism and solving that problem and focusing on becoming a better person despite that. I feel like it should be more programming to help people like focus on their dreams and aspirations because I think that like racism is a crutch for black people not being able to reach their full potential.
Gotcha. Instead of just trying to join a very popular workout, make your own workout, and things like that. Like I do definitely appreciate it. I do agree with that in that sentiment of being able to just instead of like the proverbial table, it's that proverbial workout. Like you make your own workout. You don't try to be a part of a workout knowing that like you might not be in there. That's like me trying to drink a beer everybody else is drinking. I was like, no, I'm brew my own beer how I want to do it, when I want to do it, and serve it to the people I want to serve it to, and things like that. And I do definitely appreciate that. That brings me to my last section of the podcast. I call it Cheers. I give cheers out to people, whether I'm virtual or in person, to their faces. Just cheers. It's a cheers to Kevin and Jay Bazile of 8020. It's like you guys are doing such a great work in the community. I've been watching you guys for some time now. Like it's been, I think we've known each other like 2 years, but I've been followers for probably 2 years before that. I've been hearing about 8020 and just kind of like how you've been growing and been moving. I definitely love what you've been doing. You're showing a different avenue of black excellence versus like what people think black excellence could look like on the outside. You're showing a different level, whether it's creating healthy lifestyles for our leaders to be able to be healthful in all aspects. And whether it's someone that is just trying to find their own way and you're putting them on that path, whether they don't realize it or not. And you stepping out there is really huge. That's going to be huge for people that want to step out, but they're like, I don't know if there's a space for it. So like, oh well, Kevin did workout and Bearded Brothers doing this. Maybe I can do that. And being able to be that example, definitely want to appreciate that. So like, if no one decides to tell you that from today on, the Bearded Brother was the last one to say that to you. And just want to make sure I tell you that as well. But of course. But anyone that's like interested in 8020 fitness, how can they keep up with you, Jay, the business, and even hopefully become a client?
Absolutely. So you can reach us on 8020fitnessnashville.com. And if you're interested in learning more about 8020 fitness, we always ask for a consultation. And then from there, we're going to figure out your why and come up with a strategy to help you succeed. And I really, like whoever's watching us right now, they may be in a position where they may be starting or they may be thinking about it, but it's like your body does not lie. Like it'll tell you what you need. And you gotta have that accountability.
Definitely appreciate it. Like, well, that's the episode, guys. This is Kevin of 8020 of Fitness. I'm Kramer, the Bearded Brother. Of course, you can follow me at the Bearded Brother on Instagram. Check out the website www.thebeardedbrother.com. Get some merch. If you're a brewery and want to do some work together, check out my rate card. Subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast on your favorite listening platforms. And of course, when you listen to this episode, grab your friends, good ass beer, and of course, drink up.